Have you ever said yes when you really wanted to say no? Psychology explains why. Ever met someone who's so smart that they overthink even the simplest things? Like you ask them, hey, pizza tonight, and instead of saying yes or no, they go, well, technically, if we analyze nutritional value, long-term health impact, emotional satisfaction, and cost efficiency, and you're just standing there like, bro, I just wanted to eat. Now, here's the real question. Are people with extremely high IQ actually living easier lives, or are they secretly struggling in ways most people don't even notice? Because what if I told you being extremely intelligent can sometimes feel like a curse? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might look at smart people in a completely different way. Let's start with something simple. Most people think high IQ means better grades, better jobs, better life. Sounds fair, right? But real life doesn't always work like a math equation. In fact, people with very high IQ often deal with something called overthinking on steroids. Imagine your brain never shuts up. You're trying to sleep, but your mind is replaying conversations from 5 years ago. Did I say something weird? Why did I say that? What if they misunderstood me? What if that moment changed everything? Meanwhile, a normal person is just sleeping peacefully. This is the first hidden trait. Their brain is always running, even when they don't want it to. Now here's where it gets interesting. High IQ people don't just think more, they think deeper. While others see a problem, they see 20 possible outcomes. Sounds powerful, right? But here's the catch. Too many options can actually freeze you. It's called analysis paralysis. Simple example. You go to buy a phone. You pick one. Done. But a high IQ person, they'll compare features, read 100 reviews, watch 20 videos, calculate value, future-proofing, resale value, and still not buy anything. At some point, intelligence stops helping and starts slowing you down. Let me tell you a small story. There were two friends. One was average, simple thinker. The other, extremely intelligent. They both wanted to start something, maybe a small online business. The average guy, he just started, made mistakes, learned, improved. The IQ guy, he spent weeks researching best strategy, market trends, risk factors, long-term sustainability. Months passed. Guess who actually made progress? Yeah, sometimes thinking less gets you further. Now here's another truth that most people don't talk about. High IQ people often feel alone, not because people avoid them, but because they struggle to connect. Imagine being in a conversation where everyone is talking about simple things and your brain is already 10 layers deeper. They might laugh at something basic, but you're thinking about the logic behind it. It creates a gap, and slowly they start feeling like they don't belong anywhere, not because they're better, but because they're different. And here's a little humor for you. You know that one friend who explains a joke instead of laughing? That might be a high IQ brain at work, because instead of enjoying the moment, they're analyzing it. Why is this funny? What's the structure of the joke? What psychological trigger caused laughter? And by the time they're done, everyone else has already moved on. But wait, it gets deeper. High IQ people are often more sensitive. Yeah, sounds surprising, right? You'd think intelligence makes you strong, but actually it can make you more aware. They notice tone changes, small facial expressions, hidden meanings in words, even things others ignore completely. So when someone says, "I'm fine," they're like, "No, something's off." And that constant awareness can become emotionally exhausting. Now let's talk about something powerful: perfection. High IQ people don't just want to do things, they want to do them perfectly. And that's dangerous, because perfection doesn't exist. So what happens? They delay, they doubt, they restart, again and again and again. While others are moving forward imperfectly, they're stuck trying to create something flawless, and ironically, they end up doing less. Here's another twist. They question everything: rules, systems, traditions, even things most people accept blindly. Sounds like a superpower, but sometimes it makes life complicated. Because when you question everything, you trust very little. And when you trust very little, decision-making becomes harder. Now imagine this. You finally achieve something big: success, money, recognition. Most people celebrate, but a high IQ mind, it goes, is this really meaningful? What's next? What's the purpose of all this? They don't just chase success, they chase meaning, and that search never really ends. Let's pause for a second. If you're relating to even a few of these things, overthinking, feeling different, struggling to act despite knowing a lot, then here's something important. This isn't a weakness, it's just how your brain works. But like any powerful tool, if you don't control it, it controls you. Now here comes the big reveal. The real difference between high IQ people who succeed and those who struggle is not intelligence, it's execution. Because ideas don't change your life, action does. You can understand everything and still stay stuck. Or you can take imperfect action and slowly build something real. So, what's the secret? Simple. Think less, start more. Done is better than perfect, and sometimes you don't need another answer, you just need to move. And here's the emotional truth no one tells you. Being extremely intelligent doesn't guarantee happiness. In fact, it can make life heavier. But when you learn to balance thinking with action, logic with emotion, depth with simplicity, that's when everything changes. That's when intelligence becomes a gift. So, next time you meet someone who seems too smart, remember, they might be fighting battles you can't see. Battles inside their own mind. And if you are that person, stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start messy, start small, just start. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you know, it's about what you do with what you know. If this made you think a little deeper, hit that like button. And if you enjoy content that actually changes the way you see people and yourself, subscribe to the channel, because we're just getting started. And trust me, the next video might just change how you see your own mind.